Amen. Thank you, Commissioner Huntsman. Commissioner Horner, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please? You, Horner.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Commissioners, I'd like to remind you that you may want to turn your mics on as you take the floor. And Madam Clerk, let's do roll call.
There are 12 present, 2 absent.
We have a quorum, and we are ready for business. So tonight, as we begin, there's something that I feel that this body needs to take up. As many of you may have, I received an email with a request this week, and I feel it necessary that the body take this up and let the body decide what needs to be done. It's not my decision. I don't mean to be an arbiter, so I would like the body to take this up. We have a request to relocate our agenda item for public comments to the beginning. We have no recognitions tonight, but it would be to allow for those public comments. So is there a motion on the floor to do so?
I'll make the motion.
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Green makes that motion. Is there a second?
We're moving them where?
We'll be moving the public comments to the front of the meeting. Instead, right now it is item 5 in our agenda. And because, actually, as this motion was made, we should have actually taken this up probably in our Calendar and Rules Committee meeting and discussed this there. But since we are here tonight, it will take 2/3 majority to change our agenda. So, in other words, it will take 10 votes to be able to move this item forward. We have a motion on the floor. For a second. Yes, ma'am. You're recognized, Ms. Hammond.
Okay, I'll second it.
Okay. All right, we have a motion, we have a second to move our public comments to the beginning of the meeting. Any more discussion? Let's do a roll call, please.
Debbie Ahern? Here.
No, roll call for a vote on.
Oh, beg your pardon.
Yes.
No.
Chris Cutshot?
No.
Thomas Doty?
No.
Edna Green?
Yes.
Stan Harville?
No.
Bobby Hahn?
No.
Tim Horner?
No.
Joe Huntsman?
No.
Peggy Howe?
Yes.
Rodney Long?
No.
Mike Richardson?
No.
Kyle Walker?
Yes.
It's 3. 9, 1 to 3.
The motion fails. We will keep our agenda as is. Just wanted y'all to be aware of how we need to do that. So now we'll move into our order of business. And we do not have any recognitions, so now we move into nominations and appointments. Let me get to that. The first item is the Morristown Hamblen Library Board of Trustees has sent 2 names to us of Christy Cowan and Devin Edwards. Is there a motion?
I move to approve, Mr. Chairman.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I'm sorry, folks. It's on the board. I'm sorry. Any discussion? All in favor for Christy Cowan and Devin Edwards? vote your, there we go.
11 yeas, 0 nay, 1 abstain.
All right, motion passes. Next one would be item 2B, confirmation of appointments to the Hamblen County Planning Commission. The mayor recommends Rodney Long and Thomas Doty, each for a 4-year term. Is there a motion?
A motion.
We need a second. And we have a second. Is there any discussion? Let's vote the motion.
Item 2B, 11 yeas, 0 nay, 1 abstain.
Motion passes. Congratulations. And now to item C, confirmation of appointments to the Hammond County Emergency Communications District Board. And you have that list in front of you. Director Danny Housewright, Deputy Chris Wise Carver, Chief Mark Hickman, Chief Clark Taylor, Lieutenant Josh Ringley, and County Commissioner Peggy Howell. Those are the recommendations from the mayor. And do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? Tim?
Second.
And we have a second. Is there any discussion? Then let's vote the motion. Sure.
11 yeas, 0 nay, 1 abstain.
Thank you. The motion passes. Item D, confirmation of appointment to the Hammond County Emergency Medical Services, or Service Board of Directors. The mayor has requested that we appoint Debbie Ahern, our county commissioner, to this board. Do we have a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion. Do we have a second? And we
Second.
have a second. Is there any discussion? Now let's vote the motion, please.
Item 2D, 11 yeas, 0 nay, 1 abstain.
Thank you. The motion passes. Item 2E, appointments to the Public Records Commission. The names are listed in your packet: Stan Harville, Blake Simkowski, Sally Baker, Peggy Henderson, Jim Clausen, and Cindy Lane. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Rodney Long. Is there a second?
Second.
Are we on the screen? It's all right.
There it goes, I'm sorry.
There we go. We've got a second.
Consent calendar.
Excuse me. Oh, that is the, yeah, it is consent. Yeah, it's all right. Yeah. Give us just a moment, please. Item 2E, Commissioners, we will need to vote that one off the board, and that is the appointments to the Public Records Commission. We have a motion by Commissioner Long. We have a second by Commissioner Hahn. Is there any discussion? No discussion. Let's vote the motion. Could you please call roll?
Debbie Ahern,
Yes.
Chris Cutshaw,
Aye.
Thomas Doty,
Yes.
Edna Green,
Abstain.
Stan Harville,
Yes.
Bobby Hahn,
Aye.
Tim Horner,
Yes.
Joe Huntsman,
Yes.
Peggy Howe,
Yes.
Rodney Long,
Yes.
Mike Reed, Mike Richardson,
Yes.
Kyle Walker.
Yes.
Okay, that is, yeah, 10 and 1 abstain.
10 and 1 abstain, the motion passes. Item 2F, appointment of county attorney to a one-year term. This is off the board. Do we have any nominees?
I'll nominate Chris Capps.
I nominate Link Gibbons.
Let's, Peggy, Miss Peggy,
Sir.
Commissioner Howell, please hold 1 second. On Commissioner Doty's nomination of Chris Capps, do we have a second for that?
Second.
Mike Richardson, second. Yes, Commissioner Howell.
Yes, sir. I was nominating Link Gibbons.
And do we have a second for Attorney Gibbons?
I'll second it.
Okay, do we have any other nominees? All right, we have a motion and second on 2 nominees. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, let's vote the motions. And what we'll do, Commissioners, during roll call, if you're for Attorney Capps, you Attorney Capps, or Capps simply, or Gibbons. So as we call roll, just name the last name, please.
Debbie Ahern,
Caps?
Chris Cutshaw,
Capps,
Thomas Doty,
Capps.
Edna Green,
Gibbons.
Stan Harville,
Caps.
Bobby Hahn,
Capps.
Tim Horner,
Caps.
Joe Huntsman,
Capps.
Peggy Howe,
Gibbons.
Rodney Long,
Caps.
Mike Richardson,
Caps.
Kyle Walker.
Gibbons.
It's 9-3 for Capps.
Attorney Capps, you have been appointed as our county attorney.
I'd like to thank the commission, all the commissioners, and I will work hard to earn or reestablish your trust. I know that there's been a lot of, I just say, ill will here. I'd like to mend that, and I will pray that that be mended and that not be an impediment to this body.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move to item 3, Calendar and Rules Committee. Chairman Doty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I call the Calendar and Rules Committee to order. First on the agenda is item 3A, approval of the consent calendar items. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
I make a motion.
Time out.
Yes. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman.
Yes,
I made-
yes, that's
make
fine.
a
You're
motion on
making the
this.
motion, and if you will,
Yes.
I mean, it's your prerogative to, okay. And, all right, Mr. Doty has motion. Do we have a second? We have a second. Is there any discussion? Let's vote the motion, please.
Before you stand.
3A, 12 yeas, 0 nay.
The motion passes. Chairman Doty.
Item 3B, approval of the regular calendar items, and I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a second. We have a motion. We have a second on the approval of regular calendar items. Do we have any discussion? Let's vote the motion, please.
Item 3B, 12 yeas, 0 nay.
That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Motion passes. Thank you, Chairman Doty. And now we'll move to approval of the consent calendar. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion on accepting the consent calendar? Let's vote the motion, please.
Item 4A, 12 yeas, 0 nay.
And the motion passes. Thank you very much. We will now move into the public comment regarding business of the agenda only. Is there anyone that would like to address the commission?
Linda Noe, Joe Stevens Road. I'd like to address the placement on the agenda of nominations and appointments. 9 of you have shown that you did not want to hear any public comments about nominations and appointments. I'm not sure why that would be. Why do you call it public comments on business of the agenda when you don't let people talk on that particular item? I'm only bringing it up now because I can. It is on the agenda, and anybody should have been allowed to talk on that item or those items, A through F, before it ever came up. This all gets back to rules. Do you have an order of business? If not, you should. The city does. Virtually every governing body does. Who can change that order of business? Today, it appears that our new chairman, Mr. Cutshaw, put the public comments after nominations and appointments, then decided to throw it out to you all to take the heat on that. And you did. Very willingly, very thoughtfully, very carefully. You said, we don't want to hear public comments about appointments and nominations. So let's find out, have you passed, is there something in the county commission minutes where you have an order of business? And if not, why do you keep just flipping it around? Who does have that authority? Did Mr. Cutshaw have the authority to put it where he did? Those of you who have been here before know that it was before nomination, public comments was before nominations and appointments for many, many years until around January of 2020. Somebody flipped it then. Why and who? Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would like to address the commission?
My name is Gwendolyn Holden. I live at 8150 West Point Drive. We pay your all's salary. We should have a right to have comments. We pay your salary. If we stopped paying your salary, you wouldn't like that. I wish taxpayers would. It looks like we've got the same thing again like we had before. Nothing's changed. I mean, we the people are the ones that elect you all. And Mr. Huntsman, you just prayed that we should tell the truth and be honest. And I know you're probably voting your conscience, but a man that will take money from the taxpayers, and we have the proof that he did it, why would you vote him back in? Would you vote me back in?
Miss Gwen,
It's on the agenda.
That is an allegation that is unproven and...
It's on the agenda.
Yes, ma'am, but it's
But
slander.
we've had proof.
It's slander.
We've had proof. I'm saying we had proof.
You have an opinion.
We have proof.
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But why would you vote him in?
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else?
Tim Goins, 545 Tom Trees Road. I think y'all doing a great job to begin with. You deserve your salary. You're going to earn your salary. And I thank you for it. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would like to address the commission? Seeing none, we will now recess our Hamblen County Legislative Body and open for public comments for resolutions and changing of zoning. Is there anyone here that would like to come forward for these public comments?
Gwendolyn Holden. I think we need to change zonings on inoperable cars. They say you have to have 5.
Excuse me, this is on the zonings, that's our zoning map changes, not on,
Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry.
yes, ma'am, that's fine. Yes, ma'am. Is there anyone that'd like to address the commission? All right, we will close the public hearing and reconvene as our legislative body, taking up the rezoning resolution vote in 7A, Resolution 2222, a resolution to amend the zoning map of Hamblen County, Tennessee by rezoning District 03, Tax Map 012, Parcel 026.42, St. Clair Road, Whitesburg, Tennessee, from A1 to C1.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
I'm sorry, who made the motion?
Rodney.
Rodney, wrong. Is there a second? We do have a second. Is there any discussion on this rezoning? Resolution 2222 from A1 to C1. Seeing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 7A, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion passes. Item 7B, Resolution 2223, a resolution to amend the zoning map of Hamblen County, Tennessee by rezoning District 02, Tax Map 047N, Parcel 020, Lakeshore Road, Talbot, Tennessee, 37877, from R1 to C1. Do we have a motion?
Make a motion.
Mr. Richardson has made the motion.
Second. Oh, we got a second.
And we have a second. Is there any discussion on motion or resolution 2223 to rezone Lakeshore Road from R1 to C1? Any discussion? Well, let's vote the motion.
Item 7B, 11 yea, 0 nay, 1 abstain.
The motion passes. Thank you very much. Now, move to the Finance Committee. Chairman Bobby Hahn, you're recognized.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee, item 8A, the approval of monthly checks for August of 2022. I put that in form of a motion.
We have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 8A, 12 yea, 0 nay.
And the motion passes.
Item 8B, financing of the landfill expansion. I put that in form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion.
Item 8B, 11 yea, 1 nay.
And the motion passes. Commissioner Hahn.
Item 8C, funding for transitional housing for recovery court. And I put that in the form of a motion.
And we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 8C, 11 yea, 1 nay.
And the motion passes.
Item 8D, engineering services for TDEC and ARPA stormwater projects. And I put that in the form of a motion.
Mayor?
What you have in your packet is
response we got from the East Tennessee Development District this morning, where they evaluated 5 submittals from 5 different companies to a request for qualifications for engineering services for stormwater projects that will pay from American Rescue Plan money. And the 5 firms are listed in the letter. The recommendation and the highest scoring firm was S&ME out of Knoxville, and that's the recommendation from the development district.
Thank you, Mayor.
The reason they did the evaluations is we hired the development district to administer these grants. So.
Thank you, Mayor. We have a motion by Commissioner Hahn, and we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none? Yes, ma'am.
So in approving this SME are the guys that, okay, or we're saying yes to?
Yes.
Out of everybody, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Any other discussion? Any questions? Let's vote the motion.
Oh, I apologize.
Item 8D, 11 yea, 1 nay, I'm sorry.
And the motion passes.
Item E1, Hamblen County Board of Education Budget Amendment for $12,383, transferring funds between line items. I'll put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 8E1, 12 yea, 0 nay.
And the motion passes.
Item 8E2, Hamblen County Board of Education Budget Amendment in an increase of $415,805.15. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote this motion, please.
Item 8E2, 12 yea, 0 nay.
The motion passes.
Item 8E3, Hamblen County Board of Education Budget Amendment, School Nutrition Program, an increase of $5,950. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion.
Item 8E3, 12 yea, 0 nay.
And the motion passes.
Item 8E4, Fund 101, County Trustee's Office for $5,000. I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion.
Yea, 0 nay.
And the motion passes.
Item 8E5, Fund 101, Social, Cultural, and Recreational Projects. That's for Cherokee Park, $25,175. And I put that in the form of a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second. Is there any discussion?
Exactly what is that? I'm sorry. Mr.
that-
Chairman, exactly what is that?
That would be,
That was the sale.
it's listed on your budget amendment, but let the mayor address this right quick.
Yeah, these are proceeds. You're adding to the appropriation of the maintenance equipment line and the revenues. It's, you're budgeting $25,175 from the sale of a mower and a bobcat.
But which projects is it going to?
For the purchase of another mower.
Okay, thank you.
You good, Commissioner Green?
Yes, sir.
All
Thank
right.
you for answering my
Yes.
question.
Yes, ma'am. Is there any other discussion? Any other questions? Let's vote the motion, please.
Item 8A5, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion, oh, sorry. I didn't see the screen yet. Motion has passed.
Item 8E6, Fund 101, UT Extension, $3,843, and I make that motion.
We have a motion and we have a second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, let's vote the motion, please.
Item 8E6, 12 yeas, 0 nays.
The motion has passed. Thank you, Chairman Hahn. We will now open up our session for public comments on non-agenda items. Is there anyone that would like to address our commission? You have 3 minutes to do so.
Todd Fromeyer, 1212 Hodge Drive, Morristown. It's good to see a lot of new faces up here on the commission, especially Commissioner Green. Doesn't look like your fellow Republicans appreciate you too much. As chair of the Democrats, I would just say, happy to have you anytime. Second, Miss Gwen got up and spoke, and Chairman Cutshaw, you cut her off, saying that she was committing slander, and I would just say Mr. Capps is an excellent attorney, I'm sure. He understands how to deal with that, and I'm not sure that it's for this body to cut someone off. That's between if she's speaking something slanderous or not, and the potential victim. And so I would say just let the public speak, and no need to interrupt them. But the real reason I'm here on Saturday, September 24th. Over our neighbors in Claiborne County, the United Klan Nation, KKK, is having a national rally. And so I've been in contact with some folks who have been working on a potential counter-protest to that. And I just want to call out the mayor and sheriff of Claiborne County, along with the Democratic chair in Claiborne. They work together to bring things down a little bit, so that there is, at least as of today, going to be no public demonstration by the KKK, and so that's a good thing. However, I think it's a stain on East Tennessee that the KKK is still going to be holding that rally just on private property. The Constitution would say that they have a First Amendment right to do so, and I served 20 years in the military to protect that right. However, I think that also allows me to get up here and condemn the KKK in no uncertain terms, and I would like we, as the folks of Morristown, Hamblen County, ought to be doing the same. Claiborne County, the elected officials over there stood up and said, we're not going to stand for violence for the ideas that you stand for, and it was a bipartisan thing. Republican sheriff and mayor, together with the Democrat of the party, of the county party over there, got together and worked this out. And I would hope that we would have the same in Hamblen County, but even further, I would hope that the KKK would not even think to come and have a rally in Hamblen County, because they would know the people of Hamblen County would not stand for it. And so to the extent that, in your mind or publicly you wanted to condemn the KKK, I think that would be terrific as a group of elected leaders in Hamblen County, to let them know they're not welcome here. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would like to address our commission? You have 3 minutes.
I won't need but one.
All right.
Cheryl Buchanan, Harbor Drive. The gentleman that just spoke referenced something that might possibly have been a libel statement or something that was untrue when he just mentioned. I think that if any statement could possibly be construed as libel, slander, whatever, it should not be allowed to be voiced in a meeting unless there is proof up to a lawsuit or something that whatever is being said against someone else needs to be proven before it can be a public statement. We do have freedom of speech, but people also have the right to be protected from people making pop comments.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would like to address our commission?
Bonnie Bullington, 317 Stubblefield Street. Mr. Chairman, the past two people have got up and spoken for and against comments. We have begged and begged for a rules committee. You started one and you dropped it, and yet it's always about us on this side of the podium.
Yes.
We desperately need rules for both sides of the podium. You guys sit on that side, some of you, and you change things just whenever, however you want to. You don't like what we say or how we act over here. You don't allow us to say, well, some people can say what they want to. Others are called down. Just like a meeting or two ago, a person stood up here and said that COAG had cost the county $40,000 because of the jail. That could be termed a slander. We didn't cost the county $40,000. But that was all right. But when I got up to address that, I was shut up. This is ridiculous that you've got rules for some people and you've got a different set of rules for other people. Let's get rules for everybody on both sides of this podium and hold everybody accountable, not just the ones that you disagree with. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would like to address this commission? Yes, sir. You have 3 minutes.
Yes, sir. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I wasn't here for last month when they had the agenda for the noise from the Great Smoky Farm, so I just want to express my feelings about it. You know, we have been living with a lot of excess noise from this Great Smoky Farm. Some people in this committee have heard the noise also. And I'm not particularly favored of having regulations. Unfortunately, one bad apple ruins it for everybody. We've all been there. And this person that owns it lives in Nashville, so he doesn't live here and have to deal with it all the time. And this past weekend, I don't know if anybody's seen the tent that they've had in front of the place. Well, unless you rode by around 8 o'clock at night that night, they actually put a blow-up screen with a movie screen and played a movie, and guess where it's facing? Not towards the highway, not towards, Frightmare Manor, but towards the neighborhood. And when my neighbor's here, I went from their house, I got on the phone, and you can hear it clearly, 300 feet away, over 75, 80 decibels in front of her house, which is totally ridiculous. And, and I just wish, we just want, just like the city here, we want to live to where we can have, as disturbance of peace as the city has. We want to be able to live in peace and not be disturbed and be quiet and comfort and everything else. And fortunately, it's not working that way for our neighborhood right now. We've been having an ongoing thing for months. And the corridor, I just want to express to the commission here, the corridor from Johnson City along Andrew Johnson Highway all the way to Morristown is one of the fastest growing areas. And we're the first going to be experiencing this, but this commission don't do something, it's going to happen in other places. Because the word's already getting out. You can see one, you can open and have an event, and there's no noise ordinance for the county, per se. So I just want to express that, my opinion, that we need to move on that, be proactive instead of reactive. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your comments.
Did I say my name before? Did I have to say my name?
Well, I didn't think you did, but we normally say our name and our address and begin.
Dan Pellegrin, 7290 Sweetbriar Drive.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, I know I'm a commissioner, but may I address something under the public comments?
Sure.
I, for one, with what I have read in the paper the last little bit about the lawsuits concerning the jail in Hamblen County. I'd like to know how many lawsuits are in place regarding the jail in Hamblen County. I've sat here for 8 years and I've never once heard that report. And as a commission and as a citizen of Hamblen County, we need to know what liability our county is facing. We need to know what the deductibles are for each lawsuit. We need to know where we're at, how many exactly, what they deal with, and what can we do to correct them. Now, our new sheriff, and I'll throw a plug in, from what I've heard, he's done an outstanding job, and I am proud of him, and I want him to know that. But we need to defend Hamblen County.
Yes, ma'am, and I do believe what you're saying is correct. We can get a report on that. Also, I will say we are trying to correct this. We're building a new jail.
I'm talking about steps otherwise, sir.
Well,
We've not passed, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm sorry, but yes, our new administration and our sheriff's office, I'm certain, is addressing that the best they can. So I do believe that is a question for them off the board, so to speak. You can talk with them, but I do think you're due to know what's going on.
May I make a suggestion? This gentleman was talking about noise. Is there not something we can do?
Yes, ma'am,
I
it is being-
sympathize with these folks. I have grandchildren, but I cannot imagine my grandchildren not being able to sleep at night because of a neighboring noise that loud and intrusive.
Commissioner Green, may I address that?
Please.
Yes, okay. In our previous meetings, to my understanding, the mayor has taken that and he's going to bring back recommendations to us of what we can do in regards to a noise ordinance. So that is forthcoming, I do believe. Commissioner Hahn, you spoke with him. Did he?
I did. I spoke to him just before the meeting tonight about that very issue, and they're gathering the information, and we're seeing what we can do as a county. You know, there's restrictions on us about how far we can take this without proper legislature. So he should have that. He said he hoped to have it in October, if not certainly by November. So that is being addressed, and it certainly needs to be addressed. I was down by there probably 2 weeks ago about 9:30 and drove down, I guess it's Sweetbriar Road or whatever, and my wife and I, and it'll thump the windows of your car. It's hideous. I mean, it really is. But it's being addressed, and we're trying to come up now with what we can do within legal bounds, and we'll kind of go from there.
And that will come before our commission, I'm certain, for us to pass an ordinance or what have you. It will be before us.
Mr. Chairman, may I speak to it?
Absolutely, sir.
That's actually my district.
Yes.
What many of you probably don't know, Frightmare is in the city and the Red Barn is in the county, but they're side by side.
Yes.
So when there's rules set, they won't apply to Frightmare. They'll just to the Red Barn from our perspective.
Commissioner Howell?
Yes. But gee, couldn't we say, we could apply that too because they're neighbors. And I was just looking up some information before this meeting, and some other counties. And here one, council finds that excess noise is detrimental to the physical, mental, and social well-being of the citizens, as well as to their comfort, living conditions, general welfare, and safety, which you've probably heard when you've been out there. No person shall cause, suffer, allow, or permit from any source within or on a public premise, any airborne sound when measured from approximately 20 feet. And what did he say, something 300?
He said
300.
But if, growing up in Nashville, I remember when my parents' house in the subdivision, and came home one day and they said, oh yeah, we got these new windows. These are noise abatement windows that the airport had to put in because here's the flight path. I thought, wow, if we said that to that guy from Nashville, that'd be rather expensive. Or, you know, they have these noise abatement walls along the interstate. Oh, golly, that would be very expensive. Or, what if we had a meter that said, hey, you're above 60 decibels? You want to pay $500 or whatever? In other words, we could tie in what the city is saying, because if they're neighbors. Just a thought. I know that people enjoy living in the county for the reason of living in the county, but this noise is beyond. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Commissioner Howell. And I will reiterate, I do believe this body will have that in before them at some point, and we can fully discuss this and see what we can do to help these folks.
Okay, since you're going to have this community.
Hold on.
Gwen Holden.
Thank you. Let's do it right.
You done got my address.
Yes, ma'am.
Maybe you can help Road Junction. You have laws, bylaws, that people are supposed to have 5 inoperable cars if it's not a junkyard or a salvage yard. Well, I know that there are 2 out there right now that are starting a junkyard because they have more than 5 inoperable cars on their property. Okay, I talked to Tina, and I think they are Spanish people, and they say they don't speak good English. So she says what we need to do probably is put it in Spanish, write it in Spanish, so they'll know that they're not supposed to be doing that. So would you please do something to stop those junkyards? All of them are getting out there, and people are not liking it. Just like these people don't like that loud music. We don't like to have all the junkyards. I'm going to fight for those people until I die, because they have not been treated fair by Hamblen County. They pay their taxes, and they get everything that everybody else don't want. So if we've got Spanish people that live here that can't speak English, we need to do something so they'll know what the law is and not be breaking it.
Thank you for your comments. Is there any other public comment?
Linda Noe, Joe Stevens Road. I'd like to circle back to the comments about comments. And people were saying you shouldn't be able to say this, you shouldn't be able to say that, you shouldn't be able to mention a lawsuit. What is the rule on public comments? The ultimate rule is the First Amendment. So watch out when you start saying, I'm enforcing the rule on slander because I think that's slander. Or I'm enforcing the rule on impertinent remarks. The First Amendment is your rule. Now, you can have certain limitations on it. Obviously, nobody can get up here and scream fire or threaten to kill somebody. But by and large, the First Amendment in a public setting, a public meeting, is you can keep it to the agenda, yes, but when you open it up, it's open. So beware of this idea that you're going to curb public comments. Or I've heard the rumor that some of you would like to just end public comments. That would not be a wise thing, but I've seen some unwise things done. Lastly, I want to correct one thing that Bonnie mentioned. We were not accused of costing the county $40,000. We were accused of costing $40 million. Although no one on COAG had a single vote up here, a former commissioner gets up and says, you cost $40 million. That sounds slanderous to me. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. Is there anyone else that would like to address our commission? Seeing none, all minds clear. I have some announcements. First off, October committee meetings on Tuesday. Remember Tuesday this month because of the holiday of Columbus Day. Tuesday, October the 11th, 5 o'clock right here in this courthouse, in this courtroom. And then our commission meeting, October the 20th, in this courtroom, both at 5 o'clock. We've already had our regional meeting. One note, Commissioners, I would like for you to take note of item D in that the Urban Growth Boundary Coordinating Committee public hearing will be Thursday, September the 29th, 2022, 6 p.m. at the Walter State Community College Foundation Room. I would recommend as many as possible to attend that and show our support for our county and see what's going on.
May I ask what that entails, please?
Excuse me?
What all does that meeting entail?
It'll be my first, but basically what's going on, Commissioner Green, is that we have an urban growth boundary.
Yes, sir.
And the city, or actually we have a personal request from someone in our county that would like to be included in that. They would like to be moved out into the urban growth boundary that are outside of it. So that hearing will take place, and we need to be there, and it'll be a learning experience for all of us. But I would recommend us all being there, as many as possible. And there's another item that I would like to take up now, and this is a new commission. And I'm excited about the way we are. Mistakes will be made. I just want you to know mistakes will be made, not intentionally, but they'll be made. And I just ask for decorum. I just ask that we can have respect for one another, and even when we disagree, that we can move forward. That is the purpose of coming together. We're all in this together. We're all for our county. And if we can do basically what we've done tonight and discuss, be reasonable, I see no reason we can't grow from that. That said, this new commission, we will be taking up a rules committee. I have named a rules committee. I'm asking each commissioner to consider what rules are important to them. Have it in their head. Very shortly, I don't have a timeline just yet, but we will be taking up rules. We're going to do our best to codify. We will put them down. We will have something to go by. I agree that it's long been needed. We have operated as we could, and basically we're going to operate as we are until we do different and open up a new set of rules, local rules. We will probably operate by Robert's rules as our general guide, but with that we'll adopt our local rules. That said, I'd ask for each commissioner to consider what rules are important to you and have that prepared. And at the proper time, we'll bring that forward. This committee that's there, we'll all meet together. We'll all have input. We'll all have input in the rules committee.
And
Okay?
my question, sir,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, sorry.
Yes.
Does that mean that all of us will be on that committee, or are you just going to
No,
take
ma'am,
volunteers?
it's a 5-member committee, and it's listed. You should have had a copy of all the committees in front of you today, but it is a 5-member committee. But each commissioner will have their input and have their time to speak, and hopefully we can reasonably work through this and set a set of rules that we can codify and have that we can look. And as Commissioner Richardson pointed out to me, this will be a fluid document. There's no way that we can address each item that needs to be addressed over the period of time. So we will start. And if it's not been addressed, we will operate by the previous rule. And until it comes out, there's no way that we can address each rule in one session. My goal is that as soon as possible, we can begin our local rules. That said, we are adjourned.